Welcome, moms and dads, boys and girls. Welcome to Storytime with Jamie. I'm so glad you tuned in today. If you like today's story, give us a thumbs up. You can always subscribe to our channel so you can check out this story or any of the other stories I'm going to read. And last but not least, if you want to check out the website to check out this book or any of the books, you can visit jamiebryantbooks.com. Well, today is a very special time. Today, we're not only going to be reading a story, I've got some pretty fabulous actors and actresses out here that are going to act out today's story for you. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So today's story is from my book, Fish Guts and Other Bedtime Stories. And the title of this story is Road Trip. When I was 9 years old, my mom, her sister Shirley, and her good friend Jackie decided to take a trip to Chicago for a convention. Along that trip were my Aunt Shirley's daughter Annette, Jackie's 3 children, Rita, Jerry, and Lisa, and my brother Mitch and I. We didn't go on too many trips, so we hadn't bought any luggage. However, my grandma had a suitcase that she let us borrow. We packed it full and loaded it along with all the others on top of our 1964 Chevrolet station wagon. All 3 women sat up front and all 6 of us kids piled in the back. Mitch and Jerry took the middle seat behind the women, and all 4 of us girls were compacted in the way back. We were, of course, arguing and fighting from the very start, being normal kids. At first, my mom, who was driving, would threaten Mitch and I that she was going to pull over. After a while, we realized she wasn't, so we continued our banter. Next, Mitch and Jerry, the only boys, would gang up on us girls, and Jackie would fuss at her son. This continued off and on for some time until finally the women just buried themselves in their conversation and they ignored us completely. We had been tuned out. Actually, it worked temporarily because with no one to notice our arguing, we gave up and we decided to just get along. Everyone settled in for a nice long ride. However, the noise level was pretty high. Annette and I got Lisa and Rita's to join us in a song called Let It Go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Well, of course, the boys couldn't just sit back and listen to our little concert, so they had to join in and sing the wrong words on purpose.
Let it go! Let it go! I don't know how to do that. Let it go!
This made the song sound really terrible, but we decided to sing on louder and louder.
Here I stand in the light of day.
Well, it was actually on that note of a high point that I heard the big thump. I immediately turned around behind us to see that a suitcase had bounced down the highway. The fact that it had flown off of our car was obvious to me, but not to the women in the front seat. "Mom!" I screamed out. There wasn't a response, since the front seat had decided to tune us all out. "Mom!" I shouted louder and began to tell her that our suitcase had fell off the top of the car. "Don't be silly," she said, as she just kept right on talking. "Mom!" I shouted again. "It fell off. Just look and see if it's on top of the car." "Jamie, I told you, nothing has fallen off of the car." "But Mom, I saw it." "I think it was Grandma's suitcase." This at least got her attention. She then decided to pull over and check on the top of the car. As she and Aunt Shirley and Jackie all got out of the car, we could tell by the looks on their faces that indeed the suitcase was gone. Oh, they got back in the car, and I tried to explain to them about how far back I thought it was. We had to wait, though, till the next exit so we could turn around and go back. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if my mom was more concerned about the suitcase or the fact that it belonged to our grandma. I noticed Mom driving slower than before, and we noticed a couple of cars had pulled up and pulled over to the side of the road. We drove a little further and then pulled over ourselves. Grandma's suitcase had fallen off of the top of our station wagon and bounced across the highway onto the other side. A man who was driving beside his tractor trailer went crush and smashed it. He told us, this man was telling us the whole story. The suitcase, he goes, it flew off and it bounced across the highway without any time lapse. You should have seen it. The tractor trailer just went smush and ran right over it, busting it, and all the contents of the suitcase went flying down the breezy highway. My mom and my Aunt Shirley and Jackie all went out to see what had happened. There they were, having to see all their stuff all over this highway. Everybody in the back seat was pretty solemn, but then they started picking up all the clothes. They were picking up all of their pajamas and undergarments and all kinds of things they didn't want anybody to see. But they looked around, and all the people standing around were watching and grinning ear to ear. I remember my mom saying, "Oh, are these yours?" And she's like, "Stop it, put it back in the suitcase." So they got the suitcase all zipped up, what was left of it, and put it away. They were laughing, and finally, even though it was kind of a catastrophe, they were laughing along with all these people standing on the highway who had pulled over to watch three women pick up undergarments and all kinds of stuff from the highway. Most of the clothes were recovered, and we kept pieces of the suitcase so we could match it up and buy Grandma another one later on. We did have a good trip and lots of laughs. I still remember the day we all arrived home. My grandma came out to greet us, and she gave us all a hug. The new suitcase we had bought was tied securely on top of the car. All eyes were watching as our grandma looked, and she said, "Is this here my piece of luggage?" We all burst out laughing, and Grandma looked puzzled. My mom said, "I'll tell you all about that later." And that was the end of the story. What did you think about that story? Was that a good one? A funny one? So I need all of my kids that were in the car to stand up and take a bow. Let's give them a big hand. Good job. You all can all go take a seat. Thank you so much.
Tucker.
You were great.
Tucker.
You were a great audience. So everyone, that is a story in my book, Fish Guts and Other Bedtime Stories. And again, that one is called Road Trip. So again, if you like this story, give us a thumbs up. You can always subscribe to our channel. And if you want to check out this book or any of my other books, you can visit my website at jamiebryantbooks.com. And how about everyone, let's have another round of applause for all of our actors today.